Hello, in this video we're looking at issue 87 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine, where we get the second of three parts of the Space Marine Redemptor Dreadnought, and our battle moves to a mist-shrouded platform around the gas giant Gliantha. Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike with the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
In this video we're looking at issue 87 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine, which comes with the second sprue of parts for Space Marine Redemptor Dreadnought. Still isn't the completed model, so we'll see that in the next issue. But if you want to skip to our battle report, you can do so using the timecode in the description or the chapter bars, but we'll have a look through the issue first. First up we have some background on the Sabbat worlds, a collection of worlds that, after they were first conquered, have suffered the persistent problem from the Imperium of insurrection and heresy, to the point where they eventually launched a crusade called the Sabbat Worlds Crusade, led by Warmaster Slado to pacify them once and for all. And although the Imperium did achieve some victories, it's still not pacified. They may be fighting there for many years to come. There's a bit there about Colonel Commissar Gaunt, originally just a commissar, but proved exceptionally able and was actually promoted to Colonel Commissar of what was originally supposed to be the 3 regiments raised from the world of Tanith. But unfortunately the world was destroyed after only one of those had been raised, so the regiment became known as the Tanith First and Only, a regiment of light infantry who specialise in stealth and infiltration, nicknamed Gaunt's Ghosts because he is effectively the commander-in-chief of that regiment. They're actually featured in a series of novels called the Gaunt's Ghost novels, and some of the characters from that are detailed here. And over the page, a few of the Chaos forces they're fighting, including the Blood Pact, a group of traitors and heretics devoted to Khorne the Blood God. Now we have background on the Fulminators, one of the first chapters of Primaris Space Marines, who were actually created by Belisarius Cawl during his first experiments with the Primaris Space Marines. He was actually charged by Roberto Guilliman working on them in the aftermath of the Horus Heresy, but then when Guilliman was poisoned and put in stasis, the work got put on hold, and so the Fulminators were awakened 8,000 years later and formed into a new chapter to fight once Guilliman had returned. Then the Howling Griffins, another Ultramarine successor chapter with a long and noble history, most notable probably for their famous quartered red and yellow heraldry, as you can see in the picture there. Then we have more information on Tyranid invasions, in this case the Devour stage. So after the initial invasion and then the destruction of the strongest resistance, they go into a phase of devouring all the biomass on the planet to be digested and then recycled and turned into more Tyranids. So here's some of the organisms that might be deployed during that stage, like the Ripper Swarms, small creatures that just devour everything they come across, the Haruspecs, which can crack open fortifications, and the Pyrovore, which is essentially a walking digestive system. Now we have a short story about a Chaos Champion treading the path to glory, trying to ascend to demonhood. There's a bit there about the path to glory in general, about how the Dark Gods can be fickle masters. And so I won't necessarily spoil the end, but it possibly doesn't end quite as the champion would have desired. Now we have the build guide for the Dreadnought, so we have 2 sprues of it. We still need the third one to actually build it. It does suggest building it in sub-assemblies to make it a bit easier to paint, because it's quite a large model. And it shows here the main build that it suggests to build, but there are alternate parts you can put on it. There are also quite a few bits where it's just not to use glue so that parts can swivel in place, including some of the guns, arms and legs. And you can even make it so that the armour on the front opens up so you can see the pilot's sarcophagus inside. It has 2 main weapon options, the big plasma weapon and the Onslaught Gatling cannon. We get the profiles for both in the previous issue, so you can build either. And there it is fully built. Again, you have to wait till next issue to actually do that. But now we'll be on to our game for this issue, so I'll hand you over to Mike, who will take us into that.
So, no new rules once again. The data sheet for the Dreadnought is in a previous issue. So today's mission is taking place around Gliantha, the gas giant in the Ramasus system. This is taking place on platform Abelgarn, the largest of Gliantha's orbital extraction facilities. It contains millions of litres of promethium and hydrogen and other volatile gases. And the Necrons have attacked to try and disrupt the Imperium supply lines and fuel reserves and so on. And once again, the Imperium are having to counterattack and retake the facility. However, the presence of such volatile gases is a hazard to both sides. Hope to see how they get on. And today's mission is aptly named Platform Abelgarn. So it's a 75 power game across 4 battle mats. We have a 6-inch deployment zone along each long edge, and then there is a diamond pattern of objectives. So we've got 1 in the centre, 2 11 inches away vertically, and 2 20 inches away horizontally. And our mission objectives is capture and control. We get 10 for 1 or more objectives, 10 for 2 or more, and 10 for more than the opponent. And can't be scored in the first battle round. And there's a special rule for this mission. The gaseous haze of all the volatile gases is obscuring vision vision, so units are not visible to each other if they're more than 18 inches apart. However, at the end of each battle round, we roll a d6 and add the current battle round number, and if that equals 7 or more, the gas finally clears and the rule is ignored for the rest of the game. So we'll show you our armies, get straight into it. So here's my Imperium force, going for a mix of Marines and Battle Sisters today. So for the Marines I've got a Captain, the Lieutenant, the Phobos Librarian, the Victrix Guard, 2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors, the Aggressors, the Outriders and the Invader, while the Battle Sisters have the Canoness, the Battle Sister Squad, the Seraphim, the Penitent Engine, the Paragon Warsuits and the Arco-Flagellants. And the Captain's going to be my Warlord. He'll have the Imperium Sword Warlord trait and the Sword of St. Marcius relic, that's the improved Power Sword. And the Librarian's psychic powers are going to be Hallucination and Tenebrous Curse.
And here's my Necron force. We've got the Command Barge leading it, which is obviously going to have to be the Warlord. It's going to have Honourable Combatant for extra 2 attacks against characters. Also got the Technomancer, the Chronomancer, who will have the Counter-Temporal Nanomines Arcana, and the Royal Warden. Then we've got the usual 3 troops units, 2 units of Warriors and 1 of Immortals, 5 Lich Guard, 3 Scorbet Destroyers, 2 units of 3 Counter-Tech Scarabs, 3 Wraiths, 3 Tombblades, the Counter-Tech Reanimator, and the Triarch Stalker with the Heat Ray.
So here we are on platform Abelgarn. You can see we've got all the terrain set up. We can just about get all the objectives in shot. So objective 1's in the top there in that big L-shaped ruin. Objective 5 at the bottom in that ruin. And then 2, 3 and 4 across the horizontal centre line. Looking at my deployment first, on my left flank I've got the Penitent Engine, the Invader and the Outriders with the Lieutenant to their right. In the middle I've got the Captain with the Victrix Guard and the 2 units of Assault Intercessors. Then on the right I have the Battle Sister contingent with the Warsuits, the Canoness and the Battle Sister squad. The Librarian is forward deploying over behind that cargo container near Objective 4. The Seraphim are in the sky and the Aggressors and Arco-Flagellants are in strategic reserves.
And then having a look at the Necron deployment, there's nothing in reserves, so going from left to right, you've got a unit of Scarabs out on the extreme, the Technomancer with the Scorbet Destroyers behind him, a unit of Warriors with Gauss Reapers and the Command Barge. Kind of in the centre, moving along, we have the Immortals, the Reanimator is behind them, the Lich Guard are behind the building there, the Wraiths behind them, and then the other unit of Warriors with the Royal Warden behind them. And finally the Triarch Stalker, the Chronomancer, the other unit of Scarabs, and the Tombblades out on the other flank. I also forgot to mention my campaign reward, which will go on the Warriors with Gauss Flayers, the one that lets them. It means that 6s to hit are automatic wounds.
Imperium is dominant, so that means I can pick a unit that isn't a character and that unit can reroll advance and charge rolls in the game. I'm going to pick the Warsuits, while the Necrons, the first time they lose a unit of Warriors, they can roll a dice and on a 4+, it can be set up again immediately as if it were deployed from strategic reserves. And for our secondaries, I'm going to pick Domination, whereas the Necrons have picked Attrition in a reverse of the usual picks. And then we can roll off.
We rolled a 5,
yeah.
I knocked it over.
So I win the roll-off, and then I'm going to choose to go first. So Imperium, turn 1. Also forgot to mention that my Sacred Right is going to be the Passion, the exploding 6s on melee hits. So, and then at the start of the battle round, I'm in the Devastated option.
I've got Protocol of the Sudden Storm with +1 movement.
Yeah, and my Miracle Dice is a 3. So pretty quick turn. The Outriders have moved up and the Sergeant is just in range of Objective 2 with the Penitent Engine, the Invader and the Lieutenant coming up behind. The Victrix Guard are moving over that direction as well, but are hiding in the ruins. In the centre, the Assault Intercessors are all going to pile in to Objective 5 and the Captain advance to get up behind them. Over here, the command staff from the Canoness went on the Warsuits, who advanced to get behind the Pimatrope Reactor, and the Battle Sisters and the Canoness themselves advanced to get up to support the Librarian, who's going to stay where he is, and he's not going to use any psychic powers because nothing is going to be in range, and there's no shooting because nothing's visible. So that'll be the end of my turn. I do score 3 victory points though for holding more than half the objectives as per my secondary, and then we'll be on to Necron's turn 1.
Showing my movement, most things advanced because they weren't going to be in range to shoot or be able to see anything. So the unit of Scarabs on the left, as you see it, have advanced to get all of them on Objective 2, so I will take it, stop the Imperium hopefully getting some victory points. The Destroyers are behind the black box. The Warriors with Gauss Reapers had the reanimation beam put on them. My Orbital went on the Immortals, but then I can't see things, it's not going to be relevant. The characters advancing up behind with the Reanimator, those units. You can see one of the Wraiths from there. They advanced, I did re-roll it, but it managed to get one-on-one to Objective 3. In the central ruin are the Lich Guard, who advanced up to the wall, followed by the other Warriors and the Royal Warden. The Triarch Stalker is there as well. It did manage to get in range to see an Assault Intercessor. And over on the far side, Scarabs are acting as a smite screen, the 3 Tombblades are in range of the Battle Sisters and can see them, and the Chronomancer likewise for the Warsuits. Start the shooting phase with the Chronomancers, just within 18 of a Warsuit, and so can see them. Hits on a 3. did. Wounds on a 3. He did.
Minus 3 AP, so it's a 5+ armour save. No. Probably going to kill one, so I will reroll that. Oh, saved.
I'll also in the shooting phase put the counter-temporal nanomines on them. That's an 18-inch range, so that halves their advance and charge rolls next turn. Triarch Stalker is just in range and can see some assault intercessors, so I'll just try and vaporise one or two of them. They hit twice.
Yeah, I've got loads of command points, so I'll transhuman just in case.
Wounding on 4s. Transhuman? No,
Never
wounded
mind.
anyway.
So we've got cover, so that's going to be 6s. Nope.
D6 damage each though, so with 5 we'll kill 1, and 6 will kill another. The Tomb Blades killed 3 Battle Sisters. The only other thing I have that can see is the Command Barge that can just about see a Outrider. 3 shots on 2s, they all hit. Techno-Oracular targeting for an automatic wound, and then 2 more on 3s. Only 1.
So 6s. Oh, made one.
D3 damage, 1.
And the Battle Sisters had to take a leadership test, but I just auto-passed it with my 3 Miracle Dice, and that'll be the end of Battle Round 1. So we're rolling, see if the gas goes away, so you roll a d6 and add 1, because that's the Battle Round number, and on a 7+ it goes away.
So 6 will go away. Nope, it's still here.
And then we're on to Imperium turn 2. I gain the Miracle Dice and I switch to the Tactical Doctrine, my Miracle Dice is 2.
And I'm into Protocol of the Eternal Guardian, and I'll go for the directive that means things can set to defend or overwatch better if charged.
In the command phase, go up to 11 command points. I gain 20 victory points because I held 2 objectives, and the command rod from the Canoness is going on the war suits again. The Outriders are going to be very aggressive. They're going to drive right into the face of all those Necron warriors. Penitent Engine has moved up. Invader has moved around to get a shot at the destroyers. The Lieutenant has moved up normally. The Victory's Guard ran to try and keep up with him. In this building, those assault intercessors that are down to 3 men are going to move back a bit. The other assault intercessors are going to move away from the wall, so if the Wraiths want to come and charge them, they have to go up onto the roof, where they might have to fight the captain as well. War suits have moved out. Battle Sisters have moved up onto the objective, while the Librarian has moved out as well. And up at the top here, the aggressors are going to be arriving at the end of the movement phase. And the Arco-Flagellants are arriving at that side of the board. And I'll also be spending 2 command points for Defenders of the Faith for the Battle Sisters as well. So, in the Psychic phase, the Librarian failed to cast Smite, but then did manage to cast Hallucination on the Shark Stalker, so it's going to have -1 to hit and -1 leadership for what good that does. Going to start the shooting phase with the aggressors, where they're going to fire their flamers at the destroyers. So, 66 automatic hits. 1 went out the box. So, 20 hits, wounding on 5s. 6 wounds.
4+ saves because of the tap. Failed 3, that will kill a destroyer. It doesn't come back.
So the Invader has already put its assault bolters into the Scarabs and done 2 wounds, and the multi-mount is going into the destroyers as well. 2 shots on 3s, getting 1. I will re-roll that because I might be able to kill both of them. And it's a hit, wounding on 3s. 1 wound.
The one with the big sword has cover, but I'll put it on the other one because the big sword's more useful. So no save.
D6 damage. 2, but still there. So remainder of shooting over on the left, the Penitent Engine roasted the wounded unit of Scarabs and did some more damage. Outriders fired their bolters at the destroyers, trying to finish off that wounded one, but failed, and the Lieutenant shot at the Scarabs and failed to do any damage as well. Over on this flank, the Librarian threw a grenade and whiffed, but the Battle Sisters killed 2 Scarab bases and failed to kill any bikes. An Assault Intercessor wounded a Lich Guard, and then I've just got the War Suits left. The Multi-Melters are going to go into the Triumph Stalker, while the Paragon Grenade Launchers are going into the Lich Guard. So, War Suits Multi-Melters have 6 shots in total on 3s and rerolling 1s because of the command rod. 5 hits, wounding on 4s because of quantum shielding, and I have used my command point reroll. So there's only 1 wound.
And it had a 5+ invulnerable save, which it failed.
So it's d6 plus 2 damage for 4. And the Grenade Launchers, again 3 rerolling 1s, getting 5 hits as well. Wounding on 3s against the Lich Guard. Getting 3 at -1.
They're in cover, so 3s. We failed 1, so that'll just kill the wounded Lich Guard, who doesn't come back.
We're on to the charge phase. I'll do the important one first. That's the Paragon War Suits into the Lich Guard.
Who will set to defend.
The roll is hard from counter-temporal mana mines, but I can reroll because of my being dominant on the campaign tracker. So 5 down to a 3 is not enough, so I reroll it for 3. 9 down to a 5. That isn't quite enough. So in the centre, the Outriders are going to go into that unit of warriors.
And they're going to overwatch and they'll be hitting on 5s because they can hold steady thanks to command protocol.
Well, 4 hits, but 4 wounds from the overwatch, so 5+ saves. We still have 2 damage, so we still have all 3 bikes. So the Outriders are in like that. The Penitent Engine will charge. It's going to charge the Scarabs, incidentally. 7 is going to be enough. Penitent Engine gets in. The Lieutenant will try and charge those Scarabs as well. Needs a semi-decent roll. 6 isn't going to be enough. Over on this side, the Librarian is going to charge the Scarabs and the bikes. So he has an 8, that's going to be enough. So 8 gets Librarian in, and the Arco-Flagellants are going to charge as well. They get a 6, so I'm going to re-roll that because I haven't used a command point re-roll yet. They get a 4, so they're not in. I'm going to pick the Outriders to go first, just in case the Necrons get any funny ideas about interrupting and killing one. And I will show this because I'm going to spend a command point for Gene-wrought Might, so 6 is auto wound for the Outriders. So 11 hits, 4 auto wounds, these wound on 4s. So that is 10 in total at -1.
5s to save, made 4, so we're losing 6. Coming back on 4s though, rerolling 1s because of the reanimator. And we get 3 back.
The Penitent Engine killed off the Scarab Swarm on the left. I did have to spend a command point for a reroll. And then over on the right, the Librarian killed the other Scarab Swarms. So that's 2 units destroyed, so that's important for attrition. And I will take objective 2.
My attacks back did nothing at all.
Yep, and that's the end of the turn. I hold 3 objectives once again, so I get another 3 for domination. And we're into Necron's turn 2.
Many things happen in the command phase. I'll talk about them as we get to the units in question. So over this side, the command barge has gone over to deal with the aggressors, hopefully. The destroyers have moved up towards the Penitent Engine and Objective 2. The Wraiths have also flown over to there. The Technomancer is following them. He brought back 2 of those warriors. The Royal Warden's abilities also went on them so that they were able to fall back and still shoot. They've also got My Will Be Done on them and the Reanimation Beam. Then in the centre, the Lich Guard have moved out towards the Paragon Warsuits, the Warriors have moved onto the objective in the middle, the Royal Warden is behind the wall behind them, can't really see him. The Reanimator just standing in the middle of everything. The Immortals are going to stay back a little bit to stay on objective 1. The Tombblades had the Chronomatron put on them again because they were anything that was in range really, and they've fallen back from the Librarian. Chronomancer's behind them, but still closest to the Librarian, and the Triarch Stalker has moved out into the road.
And also, at the end of the command phase, the Necron scored 20 victory points for holding 2 objectives.
So some shooting, start with the Triarch Stalker into the Paragon Warsuits. Using the focus profile, but hitting on 4s because he's got hallucination on it. Oh, it didn't matter. 2 hits. Winning on 3s, 1 wound, but I will reroll 1. Reroll is a success, so it's 2 wounds.
2 6s needed. Nope.
D6 plus 2 damage because we're in close range. So that will be 6 down to 5, so it'll kill 1. And the second one is only 3 down to 2, so the Warriors and the Reanimator between them brought the Outriders down to just the Sergeant with 2 wounds left. And then shifting over to the other side, the Chronomancer will take a shot at the Librarian. So he'll be hitting on 3. He missed. All the Warriors on Objective 3 are going to shoot at the Warsuits.
Warriors got 6 wounds, -1, so 3 plus saves, see if we can do better than last time. No, apparently not. It's 3 wounds, so we're going to lose another Warsuit.
Command Barge is going to shoot at the aggressors.
I'm going to use Transhuman Physiology.
1, 2s, and 4s. Nothing. Wraith shot at the Penitent Engine, and I got 1 hit, but I'm going to auto wound with techno-ocular targeting.
So there's 3 damage, ignoring on 5s. Didn't ignore any, it's down to 2.
Took basically all of the remainder from my shooting, but we managed to kill the Outrider Sergeant with the Immortals and the Royal Warden and the Technomancer. So then we'll be on to charging, and still from this side of the board, we're going to do the Command Barge first into the aggressors. Command Barge just needs to move about an inch. The Wraiths are going to charge both the Penitent Engine and the Invader.
Yeah, and the Penitent Engine's going to overwatch with its heavy flamers.
Well, they took 2 damage from Overwatch, and then their charge roll is a 7, which is good. The Wraiths making it in, the Destroyers also made it in over here into just the Penitent Engine. The Lich Guard just surrounded the Paragon Warsuit, and the Triarch Stalker rolled a charge into the Battle Sisters. I'm going to pick the Lich Guard to go first. So 12 attacks hitting on 3s, 10 hits wounding on 3s, 6.
6 plus Immorables? No. She goes down. I'm going to spend 2 to interrupt with the Penitent Engine, and it's going to attack the Destroyers. So 5 attacks on 4s, re-rolling because it got charged. Oh, they all hit. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds.
That leaves 1 destroyer and 1 wound, so the other one didn't come back, and I'll do its attacks on the Penitent Engine. They all hit, and we got 2 wounds, yeah, 6 7.
Gonna have to ignore a lot. No, not enough.
So that killed the Penitent Engine, and the Wraiths did 4 damage to the Invader. Triarch Stalker failed to kill any Battle Sisters, and finally I've got the Command Barge.
And I'm going to use my last command point for Transhuman Physiology on the aggressors.
4 attacks on 2s, yes, and 4s. We got 3. I think we might actually spend a command point because I haven't done one this phase. Yes, 4 wounds.
So the aggressors and the Battle Sisters didn't do much damage when they hit back, but the Invader did manage to punch a Wraith to death and wound another one, but that's not enough to retake the objective. And that's the end of the battle round. The Necrons gained attrition, so gained another 4 victory points to go up to 24. So we are into battle round 3. We did roll the gas, didn't go away, but that wouldn't make any difference. I think I'm going to call it here. I have moved some stuff around, but I think ultimately I'm going to get 20 victory points. I might be able to get domination once more, but I don't think I'm able to stop the Necrons getting attrition. I think I'll probably end up losing that objective to the Trarch Stalker. I can fall back, but it can shoot in melee, and it's got a heavy flamer essentially, so it'll probably roast all the Battle Sisters. And I don't think I'll be able to wrest control of 1 and 3. I can charge some Assault Intercessors in, but there's all those Warriors and the Raw Wardens in there, and the Reanimator shouldn't deal with them fairly easily. And I might be able to take back this one over here, but again, it's going to be very tenuous. So we'll call it a Necron victory. So the Necrons win the ability to improve the armor penetration characteristic of all Tesla weapons by 1 as their reward. That amounts to, I think, 2. So I don't think we're going to be seeing that too often. But to be honest, I could have won the ability to improve the strength of frag weapons by 1. And I can't remember the last time I used a frag grenade. So I'm not too bothered about winning or losing this one. So again, that'll be a Necron victory. And we'll recap that game for you now. So that was the game for issue 87 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine. How do you think that went?
Well, I guess pretty much as I wanted it to. You didn't really have any long-range shooting, so I was able to get stuff into range and do the damage it can do without being shot to bits before it can do that. Yeah, pretty much all my units were intact. The only units you actually killed entirely in that game were 2 units of Scarabs.
Yeah, and I think probably would have done some damage in the middle and taken back the left flank, but I think that would have just dragged out the game. I think I would have lost in the end.
With all the Warriors and Immortals being at full strength, there's just so much shooting there, and it's supplemented by the Raw Wardens, so you can't even charge them and tie them up because they can fall back. You probably would have killed the Destroyers and maybe another Wraith and taken back Objective 2, but I still had the Command Barge over there and a full unit of Warriors.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything left to take out the Trarch Stalker and the Command Barge, so there's too many big things left.
Yeah. And as you say, the Trarch Stalker would have just stood in melee and flamed them.
My plan sort of was to maybe abandon my left flank after all your dangerous stuff went there, but I didn't really have anything left on the right flank to come in and sweep around, in a sense.
Yeah, once the Paragon Warthus were dead, there wasn't really all that much you had on that flank.
Yeah, and I think going first probably was actually a big mistake, even though I did get domination. Although I probably could have gotten domination if I'd gone second, yeah.
Yeah, even perhaps just having the 4 multi-melters shooting in your turn 1, because I'd moved forward far enough, might have made a difference, actually, yeah.
I think we have found in the past that generally my strength relied on shooting. The Necrons were maybe slightly better in general melee, or they had more dangerous units, and that my melee power has to be applied surgically. It doesn't really work if it's the entire army is melee based.
No, it's funny that, isn't it? Because Assault Intercessors and things feel like quite scary melee units, but actually if they charge into Warriors, they might kill half of them.
Yeah, they're only really good against light to medium infantry, which the Necrons don't really have. So, I mean, they'll beat Warriors and Flayed Ones and Immortals in melee, but they're not that threatening against other things.
The Captain would have been difficult to deal with, but if I just killed all the Assault Intercessors, I could cover the objective in Warriors.
Well, it was nice to at least try out a different army rather than saying exactly the same thing as in. Was tempted to put Mechanicus in, but it really wouldn't have suited them at all, I don't think, unless the gas cleared early.
Yeah, the gas is sort of an interesting rule, but...
Well, it wasn't really relevant after the first turn, because we just moved really close towards each other. Generally, the Necrons have reasonably short range anyway, and usually you shoot at things that are in front of you. Over the units like the Suppressors and the Cataphrons, I like to shoot across the entire battlefield, but I didn't bring them, so it didn't really come into effect. Yeah, but I'm not too bothered. To be honest, I think that probably better for me to be Ascendant rather than Dominant, because then the Necrons can't bring Necron Warriors back on a 4+. That would have been far more annoying if you got a unit back. And both rewards are pretty bad, actually, for Gliantha.
Yeah, my one literally affects the 1 Tomb Blade with a Tesla gun, and if I were to put the Tesla on the Command Barge. And an extra -1 AP is really not that impressive on those anyway, so... Because we've followed exactly what the magazine said when it came to build options, it's completely useless with this collection.
Yeah, and to be honest, I hardly ever throw frag grenades, because even against a unit of 10 warriors, I don't think frag grenades would be that useful. With +1 strength, it's only really on 4s, and it would help the frag grenades on the Dreadnought coming up, but I just gave it Stormbolters, so because it has a longer range. So we'll see that in the next issue. But otherwise, if you like this content, do leave a like and subscribe, and leave any comments if you got this collection and you finished it. Tell us how you got on with it, or if you'd expanded it at all, let us know. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.